with me, Woifi.
And Dani.
We're back with a new episode, everybody.
We are. How are you doing today?
Don't fucking interrupt me.
I'm
when
interrupting
I talk to
you.
people.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Are you
I don't
really
care.
doing good?
What?
It doesn't bother me as much.
I'm fine. I'm okay. It's a shitty day, but it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is it a shitty day?
See, it's not really a
Besides
shitty
just
day,
saying
but it is
everything.
a shitty day.
But why? What happened to you today?
Nothing.
It's just
It's just
nothing
a shitty
happened?
Day. Yeah. It's literally just a shitty day.
because you don't feel well? Or like your anxiety is high?
I mean,
or...
that, but I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the weather is really gross too.
People are stupid, but let's not go into that. That
No.
was last week's episode. We're back with a different episode this time, or today. More traditional hour style of podcast. Sorry. But yeah, let's go into the topic.
We're talking about perfectionism.
Yeah.
But like not just how it affects let's just go into that first. Like, what is your experience with perfectionism? Do you consider yourself a perfectionist? Or do you have perfectionist tendencies?
I mean, sure. I think in especially the creative field, you tend to, at least for certain things, tend to be very
Picky?
yeah, and look at your work more critical than you would look at work from different people.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, I think
Like you see things that other people don't see. Like when you're looking at your own work and there's like, I
mean, sure.
should have done that differently, but nobody would really see it.
Nah, but I don't know. I think it's more like when you work on something for a certain amount of time, you don't really have an outside view on it anymore. You're, in German, we call it betriebsblind, or you're basically blind to your own work and you can't really judge it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, it's hard to say if something's good or not good.
I also think the longer you work on something, the more critical you become of it. Because like when my brother and I were recording, we worked so long on that EP, but the more we listened to the songs that we recorded, the more we didn't like them because we would continuously hear things that we would want to change.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, with work that you don't have like a deadline for, like an album or like yourself, or like a short movie or an image or painting or doing in Photoshop, whatever, you can basically work on that thing forever. And the longer you work on, at some point it's not getting better. At some point it might get worse again. So you have to, it's a very sensitive subject to determine when that peak of, perfection or goodness is reached. So to stop and say, okay, this is the best I can do at this point or at this moment, and I should just leave it alone now. Because if you think about like a painter, like Leonardo da Vinci, for example,
I was about to correct you and say DiCaprio, and I was like, wait.
If you think about him and like maybe his early works that does not get as much recognition as his like famous pieces, he would never go back and say, okay, maybe I should have painted the Mona Lisa a different way. You know what I mean? Or
but
revisit
we don't know that.
the
You're
Mona
not
Lisa.
him.
And do like a version 2.0.
I'm sure that he saw a million mistakes in his
Sure.
paintings. I mean, look at Van Gogh. I think that's the best example,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's my
But what about in a non-work sense? Just like in your private life outside of work. So outside of the creativity, do you have like
I mean,
perfectionist things?
yeah. For example, while gaming, that's something that the thing is I'm not good at gaming. I'm not bad, but I'm not good where I could compete or be on the top all the time. But I was really good when I was gaming a lot, when I had my second hand. And so there's still this fire in me that wants to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the very best. Like
no one ever was.
Yeah, exactly. I want to catch them all. All the horses. Horses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where is your perfect or perfectionism living at?
Like my everyday life.
Okay.
No, I have some weird ones and some maybe not so weird, like more common ones. But like, so I guess the more common one is like when I'm studying something, like when I'm learning something.
You learn things?
I do.
When?
That's rude. I've taught myself so many things.
Like what?
First of all, I studied massage therapy. Then I learned Reiki. Then I learned crocheting on my own, and I'm badass at it. I'm learning Spanish.
Sí.
Sí.
De nada.
Gracias.
Okay.
Anyways, but like learning German, for example, for so long I refused to talk to anybody in German, even if I thought, okay, I know how to say that, because I didn't want to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want the grammar to be wrong. That was the thing for me. It's like I can say what I want to say, but it might not be grammatically correct.
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle that. It like gives me panic. I mean, if that's gotten better. And I actually thank my colleague for that, because she like encouraged me so much to just not give a fuck if the grammar's wrong. And she like really nicely corrects me when I say it wrong, just like casually without interrupting what I'm saying, just repeats the word that I said wrong and says it in just like this really chill way. And it's really nice. So she's actually helped me a lot. But so that's, I guess, a more common way to be a perfectionist. But I have my weird one where I'm like, if I'm baking something, specifically baking, with cooking, it doesn't bother me as much. But baking, I
think because baking is more of a science and you can mess the whole thing up by adding something too much or too less or too little. And with cooking, you can easily make something that doesn't taste so well better. Yeah.
And I'm good at that too. With cooking, I'm really good at like, I don't need a recipe for things. I can just throw shit together and it typically ends up being good.
Yeah.
And I know what works well together, like what flavors.
Like the Saturday's dirt soup you make every day.
What? The dirt soup? Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. It's vegan.
Just brown water with dirt in it.
It's warm.
Soup.
No, but with cooking, I know what flavors work together. And I can guess what flavors work together really well. Like I'm good at that. But with baking, like you said, it's more of a science. And I can't, maybe I could, but I don't trust myself enough to try to I'm just going to bake something without using a recipe. And if I do use a recipe, I have super high expectations for myself.
Yep.
And if it doesn't go right, or if it looks not pretty, then I get really, really upset.
Your throat just made a
I know.
weird
Did you
noise.
guys hear that?
Yeah.
I hope you heard it.
That's pretty gross.
But I get like upset. Like it ruins my day.
When your throat does that?
No, when I bake something and it
I
doesn't
didn't
turn
listen,
out pretty.
so I don't care. Okay. So now it's your guys' turn. Tell us. Tell us.
He's playing with his mustache right now. Mustache.
Danielle,
Wolfgang?
I'm trying to ask the audience something.
Okay.
So you two people.
Maybe it's 3.5 pigeons.
No, 3.5 pigeons. 2.5 pigeons. It's, by the way, not 3.5.
I thought it was 3.5.
No, it's 2.5. But how would you know? So what about you guys? Where's like, are you perfectionists, or do you have perfectionistic tendencies?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And where do they lie? Like, what is like the field?
Sex.
So, that was clearly not. Oh man.
It was the audience.
Mhm. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, but maybe let's take a quick break and then
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Okay. Let's take a
This episode of Translating Love is brought to you by Masters of Coffee. Because Masters of Coffee is a local Austrian company, this ad will be in German.
Yes. Zu einem ordentlichen Morgenritual gehört nur eines.
Poop?
No, Coffee. Of course. Und diese Episode wird gesponsert von Masters of Coffee. Seit Anfang 2021 gibt es sie bereits und Matthias und Bernd bringen ihr Barista-Know-how mit. Ihr Kaffee wird nicht nur online, sondern bereits in diversen Geschäften vertrieben. Und das Coole ist, man kann sie auch renten. Das heißt, rent a Barista, und man kann die Masters mieten. Was auch immer ansteht, guter Kaffee sollte nicht zu kurz kommen. Das heißt, bei Hochzeiten oder bei anderen Veranstaltungen gibt es guten Kaffee direkt von den Brüdern. Und das Tolle ist, es gibt auch Workshops. So man kann so für zu Hause einfach lernen, einen guten, super ordentlichen Kaffee zubereiten. Super cool. Und ein richtig cooler Service ist Pimp meine Kaffeemaschine. Also man kann wirklich seine Kaffeemaschine individualisieren mit Griffen, mit Schnickschnack, super cool. Also es ist sehr einzigartig. Und wer mehr über die Masters of Coffee erfahren will, geht auf die Homepage www.mastersofcoffee.eu, auf Facebook unter Masters of Coffee Austria oder auf Instagram unter @themastersofcoffee, und alle Links findet ihr auch unten in der Description. Das Tolle ist auch, wer in der Linzer Area ist, kann sich auch ein persönliches Bild machen und jederzeit auf einen Kaffee bei den Jungs im Store in der Leonfeldner Straße 328 in der Lederfabrik vorbeischauen.
So my question, where are your, or if you have any, perfectionist tendencies within a relationship, whether it's past relationships or this one?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
No.
Like none?
Not because, with my something that's perfect, that's very subjective.
I mean, I don't think perfect is, I don't even think it exists.
Right. It doesn't exist. So it only exists in your head and your way of thinking of something. Like if you think of a movie and you say, oh, this movie is perfect, then it's perfect for you because of a certain reason or multiple reasons. And the same goes for music, making art, whatever. And I think that the same goes for, like, what is a perfect relationship?
I mean, what I'm more okay, I'll just give my example because maybe that helps. I think I used to have too high of expectations of like what I wanted a relationship to look like. And I'm including our relationship. I think in the early stages of our relationship, I put a lot of expectations on you unintentionally. But
I remember that.
I don't know. I felt like maybe there was something that or there was always something that I wanted to make better. Not necessarily you as a person, but just like things, how we connected with each other, how we communicated with each other, how you would like phrase things. It's like I was always trying to correct little things. And I think, I mean, you shouldn't do that. I think that's gotten better. But I think that's common in relationships. And I think maybe especially with people who have anxiety.
Sure.
Or who have experienced trauma in relationships, and so they don't want those traumas to repeat themselves.
I mean, I think the word expectations is a key word here, because without expectations, you probably don't have perfectionistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Right? Because what is an expectation is something you want, or you feel like you want.
Know that you feel like should happen a certain way, or should.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel like you want or need that because it's supposed to be like that, because of a certain thought or idea in your head that might be like, okay, I've seen this in a movie and this is how a perfect, you wouldn't probably say perfect, but like this is how a good or a solid relationship is supposed to be. Yeah. So that in mind, I don't know if I had any expectations. The thing is, I'm very easy to please. Why are you laughing?
Because it's bullshit.
That's not true. I'm super easy to please.
I think in a lot of things, yes, but there have definitely been moments where I feel like it wouldn't matter what I said in that situation. You wouldn't be satisfied with it.
Like what?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
No, but there are many times where either in an argument or before an argument starts, it's like and it's not just me, but maybe I notice like your mom says something, and I don't know if sometimes it feels like it's maybe from person to person that it changes for you. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You're not super easy to please. You're mostly easy to please. But there are definitely...
I disagree.
But there are definitely moments where it feels like... I don't know.
The fact that you can't
like,
even come up with a
sometimes it feels like
example.
Unless somebody does something exactly the same way that you would do it, then you're annoyed.
You mean the right way?
There, you've proved my point.
No, I get that. That's true. But I wouldn't
say
say
that means it's not always super easy to please you, because...
Yeah. No, that's true. But I think that doesn't go only for relationships.
What do you mean?
I mean, it goes for everything. Like if I see someone doing something a certain way, and I know there is a better or easier way or the right way, because that's the wrong way that happens, then sure, I say something and voice my,
Yeah, but sometimes it's, if it leads you to the same end goal.
But if not.
No, but even when I'm saying when it does, you still tend to have to prove the person wrong and say that there was a better way to do it, or you would have done it this way.
Yeah.
And then that makes the person feel bad, because it's like, why are you fighting me on this?
Yeah. Right.
Just because I do it differently.
No. Just because I'm doing the right way.
No. I think that I'm easy to please. There's the laugh. Okay, but now you tell me why you don't think that's true.
Easy. because you have a lot of expectations.
No,
Not
I don't
as
anymore.
much anymore, but you still do.
Like what? What outrageous expectation do
For
I still have?
example, you want me to behave a certain way.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
For example, do you remember the last time we were out, like at this dinner date at this estate?
What?
Like at this dinner date? Where you had this gown on and I had my tie and tuxedo and shit?
This has never happened in the entirety of our relationship.
Oh, man.
Now give me a real example.
No. For example, when we fought the last time about I'm not asking if you mind if I do something else.
Yeah. The fact that we fought, though, was not on me that you reacted that way.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I try to, do those things you ask me because it's a form of showing respect, but also being considerate.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not doing that.
And that's fine.
Exactly.
But that's not a crazy expectation. Me saying something was only as a reminder to you, or actually just to let you know that I've been feeling that way. Because if you don't know that the things that you're doing are making me feel that way, then you would maybe continue doing them. I would continue feeling like that, and then it's bad for both of us.
I think that's the point.
You're
proving my point right now, because it's all about your feelings. I think that
I'm not allowed to share my feelings.
Exactly. You should never do that.
No, I'm being serious though.
Nah, I can't.
Because
think
that
of an
example is not really. That's not about an expectation. Sure, I have an expectation that you're considerate, but I don't think that's a crazy expectation.
Yeah, because I am.
And I know you are. And I also never said that you weren't. I never said that you continuously are inconsiderate. I just said in the last couple of days, I have felt that because of this action. And I don't see something wrong with that.
I see.
If I were doing something that was inconsiderate to you,
yeah,
I would want you to tell me, because then maybe I'm not doing it on purpose. And I never said you were doing it on purpose.
Okay. No, I understand. I understand now. No, I mean, like when we started dating in this relationship, I think we were both more complicated because we didn't know each other. And also especially I wasn't used to living with someone, but also getting to know each other, speaking the other language, the way that the other person understands you. Compared to now, I think we were both very not very, but difficult to please.
Yeah.
And we had expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to come back, though. I actually want to know what you think, because I actually do think, for the most part, like the majority of the time, that I'm easy to please. And I'm curious how you actually feel about that.
No, I agree. Most of the time, you're very easy to please.
I mean, everybody has
like
moments when they're not.
Hot chocolate and some cookies or brownies or Krapfen or cake or...
Right, why are you naming desserts?
Did that something that pleases you?
Food in general. Just give me some food.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're easy to please most of the time.
I think you are too, most of the time.
That's so nice.
It is nice.
Now, okay. Is there something else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If you want to be a guest on our podcast, and that's actually a real thing, I'm actually saying that. If you feel like you have something you want to share, maybe something about a relationship that you had, or if you just want to chat, or if you feel like you have some insight into, I don't know, anything, having to do with relationships,
Yeah.
hit us up. We would love to have you on. No matter where you are in the world, we can make it work. So reach out.
Other than that, subscribe.
Other than
that, subscribe.
Rate.
Like the podcast. Rate the podcast.
Write the theme tune. Sing the theme tune.
And we see each other next week.
Indeed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.